First and last name and spell them.
Shylee Antonino, Shylee Antonino.
Thank you. What are your preferred pronouns?
She, her.
Do we have permission to use your footage?
Yes.
Thank you. So can you tell us how your life was like pre-COVID?
It's pretty normal. Like, got to hang out with my friends all the time. School was normal.
Grade were you in?
I was going into grade 10, but like, it was at the end of the year, kind of.
How and when did you first hear about COVID?
I think it was second semester. We just finished exams. I think it was, I don't remember when that was, but I know it was like winter time, I think, and everybody was like freaking out about it.
Did you actually know what COVID was?
Yeah, I did. Well, I heard about it. My sister was in Cuba at the time, and she heard about it over there. And then on her way back, like, it started, like, hearing more about it. And, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think? Like, what were your assumptions about COVID?
I just thought of it as, like, another flu or, like, a cold. I didn't really think much of it. Yeah, that was basically it.
So then what was your reaction when schools suddenly shut down because of it?
I thought it was gonna be like, oh, just 2 weeks off. And then they started extending it even more, and I'm like, this is not gonna stop. Like, we're not going back.
Yeah. So how did your daily schedule change at school?
Like,
From like before COVID to like whatever.
okay.
Online.
Well, online is pretty hard, like, keeping myself awake. It's kind of hard learning, like, without actually being there. I'm more of a visual, hands-on learner, not just like, I can't just read something and remember it.
Describe a typical day in like an online class for you.
Wake up, fall asleep during my class, all of my classes, and that's basically it.
Okay. Were your grades impacted?
Honestly, they were at first, but I'm usually a last minute person, so I caught up at the end and somehow passed all of them.
So I don't know about your school, but my school, we had like different, like after the online, when we kind of like got in person again, we had like a full day of one class, and then suddenly we had like two classes every other week. Did you guys have that?
Yeah, well, it started off as like the cohorts with, I think, one class a day, and then like every other week we would switch to a different class.
So like between all of them and between like the normal four class schedule, which one kind of like stood out to you, either positively or negatively?
Like our normal classes, because I don't know, I didn't think that, like, I used to think that having 4 classes a day was like gonna be a lot, but then it turns out like it's actually hard sitting in like one class all day, so it's a lot better.
How would you say the teachers handled it?
The teachers didn't handle it very well. I honestly didn't learn much. Like, I think I've learned more from this program than I have in the past couple of years.
Did you stay in contact with your friends during the lockdown?
Yeah, besides like school being shut down, I did see my friends. Like, I just continued on with my life. Like, considering I have a high immune system, like pretty good immune system, so yeah.
So you did like.
So I did the normal things. Well, not normal because everything was closed, but pretty normal.
How did COVID impact your social life?
I don't think it really impacted, like, I clearly couldn't make new friends, but it didn't, like, impact my social life with my other friends, like, my friends that I already had before.
So like your relationship with them didn't really change because of COVID.
No, I say, like, I had more time to hang out with them, so I got closer to my friends.
Did you? How did you feel during the lockdown?
Well, I'm an outside type of person. I don't like staying home, so it was kind of hard, like not being able to go into places. But besides that, it was like I could deal with it.
Did you ever catch COVID?
Yeah, I did.
How was it?
It honestly wasn't that bad. It was just a cold for me. Yeah, I think I caught it at last semester.
Okay. How did isolation impact your mental health?
Isolation didn't really impact like my mental health as much as I thought it would, because like I still had people close to me, like, and it was kind of easy, like, sorry. I like being alone, like I like spending time by myself, so it wasn't as hard.
What did you do to cope with isolation and the lockdown?
I like try to spend as much time with like my family or like outside, so that I'm not just stuck inside doing one thing, staring at a computer, just like doing homework or something.
Now, what are your thoughts on the restrictions finally being lifted?
I think that so my thoughts on the restrictions being lifted, I'm kind of glad that it happened, because there was once like the flu, like once started off as COVID, but like everyone's gonna catch it at some point, and some of us like have high immune systems, some of us don't, but no matter what, we're gonna get it.
Do you think COVID will ever be over?
No, I don't think it'll be over. I think it'll die down a bit, but like I said before, like the flu, the cold, like there's other things that once started like off as a huge thing, but they also died down.
What would you say is a mistake in the way that we handled COVID?
I think like if we just had the lockdown, like nobody was allowed out for the 2 weeks, and it would die down somewhat. So I think that was a mistake, and also lifting like restrictions and then putting them back and then keep doing that over and over was a mistake.
Now, what would you say we handled particularly well?
Ooh, I think most of us handled like the masks pretty well. Yeah.
Um, what were the main aspects of yourself that kind of changed because of COVID and the lockdown, if any?
I don't think any aspects of myself have changed.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the people who thought COVID was fake?
I honestly, people have their own opinions on things, and as long as like they're not trying to change other people's opinions, I think that's fine.
What do you think will happen like in the near future with COVID?
What do I think will happen? I don't really think anything will happen in the near future with COVID.
Lingering effects do you think COVID will leave in its wake?
Um, I'm not too sure.
How has COVID altered your view of your own future?
It really hasn't altered like my view of my own future. I just know what I want to do and I'll stick to that.
Did you learn something from your experience that you wish everyone knew?
No, I feel like we all went through pretty much somewhat the same thing. So we all kind of have an understanding of what each other went through.
Now, what are your hopes for the future?
I hope that there's like no more restrictions, like it'll start to die down. Like people can live how they want, how they did before COVID started. 'Cause yeah, it was better that way.
Yeah, what does it feel like being a senior in high school, but this is your first full year in high school?
Honestly, kind of sad that I didn't get to experience like my full grade 9 year. I don't care too much about grade 10 and 11 because I don't know, I think everyone should experience a full year of grade 9. Like that's the most fun year out of all of them. And grade 11 kind of was normal for me except for the mask part, but I just went on like living how I used to live before COVID.